All right, all right. What's up, beautiful people? We appreciate you joining us today. We have a great episode. Today, we're going to be talking about how you build your personal brand. The woman we have on this episode is a beast in New York City. I feel like she has her hands in just about everything. Really came up and built a personal brand and was able to leverage that to build a company. So we're going to talk about what's going on there, talk about what's going on in New York per usual. And I'm excited for this episode. Let's get it.
What up, Rebel fam? It's Peter here, coming back with this episode of Dope People. Of course, as we always do, let's check in with our lovely co-hosts, Lulu, Jacoby. How you guys doing?
What's happening? What's happening? I like how you have you found your phrase. You got your thing, right? Like J. Cole has that whole piece where he was like looking for his own little his phrase. You got it, bro. You got it.
What up, Rebel fam? That's my phrase.
And then you hit the dope people.
Oh.
I have to try to laugh off camera or off mic because I heard myself laugh last time when he did that, and I was like, no.
Well, I always try to bring some energy. I'm always excited, so it's a moment of fruition.
What's up, Lulu? How you doing? Where you at?
I am still in Mexico, and super stoked about this episode because we always have friends on our show, but this is my homegirl, Kym B, a pillar in the cannabis community of New York City. One of my first Canna sisters that I met in New York City. It's been beautiful to see how she's grown into, like you said, Jacoby, her own personal brand. And this girl is I don't know when she sleeps, but I can't wait to bring her on. Let's get her on and learn all about Kym B.
Love you guys. What's up, beautiful people, dope people?
Hey. What's up, Kym B? Where you at? That looks beautiful.
I am living my best life in Laguna Beach. So TribeTokes, some of our main offices and our partners are out here. So we are touring a new facility and writing business plans,
Hey,
that's what's up. Make it work.
I think
the woman that doesn't sleep. The woman that doesn't sleep.
I try to sleep, though. I try a lot.
You guys know Juicy J says real hustlers don't sleep. We taking naps.
Take a little nap here and there, a little blunt,
Let's get it.
CBD vape pen. Right.
Facts.
Well, cool. We're excited to have you on, Kym B. Like Lulu has said, we see you in these New York streets. We've seen you come up a little bit. I swear, whether we're going to the most formal professional event, boom, she's right there. We go in the underground, we getting lit, boom, she's right there. Anything in between, she's on stage talking about what's going on in New York, just really bringing the community together. And before we start, I just want to say we see you. We see you and we see your growth.
Bless you guys. I love you all so much, and that's for real.
Michelle, we appreciate it. Like Lulu said, you're one of her original OG Canna sisters. And if you make it's one thing to make the Lulu vibe test. That's pretty tough. But to make it to the Lulu bestie test, that's next level.
B. That is Kym B. I mean, we all of us met through WomenGrow. And I know exactly when I met you. It was at Mia Di Stefano's birthday party. And you rolled through with a bunch of bags, hustling. And Mia was like, you two need to know each other. So that was our first date, or our first meeting. And our first date, I picked you up with my new dog at that time. Lando was just a pup. And we rolled through to the first Spanish-speaking cannabis event in New Jersey. So that was our second date. And, it's just been...
after.
Yep. And Yeah, one of my favorite people. Like, if I'm ever feeling low energy, Kym always brings me back up. So I love you, Kym B.
Love you, sis.
All right, well, let's get into it then.
Hey.
We had a little nod to WomenGrow. We'll get into that for sure. But just for starters, Kym B, what I understand of your background, and I want you to hold me accountable here.
Sure.
You always been into cannabis, but it's always been a hobby, right? You kind of mess with it here and there as you're growing up through your teenage years and onward. Kind of had a dream for what we could maybe do with cannabis, but nothing crazy. And then went through some crazy dark times in your life, and two things really lifted you up: cannabis and fitness. And I think out of the two, fitness became a career first, cannabis second, and they each kind of had their pathway for you. So before we get into the cannabis realm, I want to understand how you were able to take a hard time and become a fitness influencer, whether you were using marijuana at this time or not. Like, how did you come up that way?
Well, I've been using cannabis as medicine since I'm 16, and I I'm not very good with the alcohol, so I gravitated towards fitness because I wasn't hanging out with the drinking kids, I wasn't hanging out with the pot kids, and I wasn't hanging out with the sports kids. And I was like, well, what am I going to do with myself? But I'm not a partier. And my gym teacher suggested I should start hitting the weights. And I went into that weight room at 15 years old and I was like, I'm never leaving. And growing up, my mom was really into fitness. She had 5 kids, so she was always pregnant. And then afterwards, she was like, okay, it's time for mommy to get hot again. And she would do Jane Fonda. And, I was obsessed. And so she bought me a pair of leg warmers and a boom box. And I was like, okay, low impact, here we go. And I started teaching step class when I was like 17. So I knew at an early age I was going to get into fitness. At 20, I discovered Pilates. I got certified right away. It was a hot, booming industry back then, in 1999, and I got in at the right time. I love to positively impact people and motivate people to achieve their goals. I'm a natural problem solver. So I like knew right away that teaching fitness was going to be for me. And I made a go at it. At 24 years old, I opened my own Pilates studio in a little town in Florida called Boca Raton, and then opened a bunch of flagship subsidiary locations. And then I had my flagship store, my Pilates studio, and I just did extremely well because I was passionate about it. And as passionate as I was, as passionate as my pockets were. So I wanted to make money and I was hungry and I was willing to do whatever it takes to get what I wanted. And so I opened a bunch of different Pilates studios and then went on to work for a few really amazing brands, including Equinox, which I was at for 6 years as a teacher trainer and a personal Pilates instructor, as well as group fitness. And then, of course, my favorite thing in the whole world, my Lululemons and my Lulu friends. They're all my favorites, but I was blessed enough to, it is a very high honor to be bestowed upon a fitness instructor to become a Lululemon ambassador. And in 2017, I was honored. Lululemon proposed to me and asked me if I would be their ambassador. And I said yes. And I had a 2-year contract. And that's, kind of my fitness career in a nutshell.
Okay. How does one get proposed to by Lululemon? Like, what do you have to do? How did that work?
I just showed up. And this is just something that I always do is I would show up. So the store would have events and I would show up. And I would go shop and get excited about things and talk about, Pilates in the store. and they noticed me, and eventually they asked me to start teaching classes. They would have like these cool like special event classes, and I would teach Pilates. I did this one series called Knockout Pilates where I fused boxing, cardio boxing in Pilates together. Joseph Pilates was a boxer. That was one of the modalities of sports he was involved in, and it just was a really natural combination, and they loved it. And a couple months later, just showing up and being around and sparking up good conversation with the people in the store, they took me to the Chelsea Piers, surprised me. We had like a big group fitness day, and they invited me to come be part of the team. And about halfway through, they took me into the secret room, and they basically had a riddle for me that I had to like guess, and basically said, "Will you be our ambassador?" And of course I said yes. And it was not just in a moment in time that was really like a big deal to me, but my sister reminded me, my younger sister, that 15 years before, I'm sorry, I get teary-eyed when I think about this. I told her in my store, in my Pilates studio, I said, I'm going to be a Lululemon ambassador one day. And boom, it happened. And I couldn't believe it. And the reason why is because I just showed up.
All right. I'm catching a couple of themes here. We know that you're a community builder. We know that you're a person of the people. But I'm going to say that I don't think for you it was showing up. For you, it was sparking up. Whether you're sparking up conversations or J's, I feel like that's kind of like the theme I'm already catching here. So, okay, sparking up. You really did get proposed to. I didn't realize it was like that. So that happened.
Yeah.
And then you're doing that for a while. But I think around the same time is when you really started getting engaged with some of these small little groups in New York. Now, the cool thing is you're amongst friends here. And I think if we talk about this like 20 years from now, we'll be like, remember New York cannabis like 5 years before it was legal? There's like these little networking groups, and like you would just see the same people in all these little pockets.
Totally.
It's kind of like Bitcoin like 2 years before that.
Totally.
Talk to me for the audience, like what was going on around 2017, 2018, like how you started engaging with like the cannabis community?
I'm going to say
Wild.
2015, 2015.
Okay.
Oh,
You're
wow.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, it started out in 2015 where I discovered CBD, and I was in the gym, and a guy in front of me in the smoothie line is like, "I'm going to put cannabis in my smoothie." I was like, "Listen here, sir." Mine too. And he goes, "Well, this is CBD and it won't get you high, but it has all these great benefits." I was like, "Double dose, please." And he also recommended for me to head over to WomenGrow, and he said, "There's going to be your people there. You're going to find your family." I found my sister Lulu. I mean, it's, was just a thing. And so I, listen, I've been selling weed since I'm 15. And in 2016, I started throwing parties, cannabis parties on the scene. I wanted to bring everyone together, and I wanted everyone to be friends, and I wanted everyone to know that these are your partners. These are the people that you're going to work with. These are your customers. These are your mentors. These are the people that are going to give you the ideas that you need, and the motivation, and the help and the support and the outlet and the resources. And I always just want to bring people together, because we know that when you have your tribe, that's when you survive and you thrive. So I was just doing my thing, like in the weed game. Like I'd be at the sessions, I'd be at the business events, Dwayne Morris, WomenGrow, or I'd be at, up on 136 Concourse, just chilling with the homies, smoking a bee, talking to people about how cannabis isn't a drug, but it's a means of lifestyle. And people liked what I had to say, and it was just easy as a fitness instructor to tell people, this is healthy, this is okay. And it was a wild time. I was a Lululemon ambassador, working at Equinox, and then my side hustle is cannabis. People thought I was effing crazy, and guess what? I am, and I was, and I'm happy to proclaim it. Cannabis makes me excited and happy, and if that, you know, like I can help other people discover that too, that's life. That's life right there.
Yo, were other instructors at either brand like talking about cannabis either publicly or privately?
Both. And the thing about Lululemon that always just impresses me so much is they're a Canadian company, so they're really open. You know, cannabis in Canada has been, you know, forward thinking for a while. So it was very great transition and a lot of support. And Equinox too invited me, please come bring your brand into Equinox and showcase it to our members, because those are your customers. And I remember one of the big managers is like, this is super amazing. He's like, I knew you were a great Pilates instructor. He's like, but you are an amazing plant-based holistic healer. And I was like, holy shit, I can make a go of this. And that's when I really was like, okay, I can do this. I can merge this. If, you know, one of the big wigs at Equinox who, you know, barely even knows me thinks that I'm a healer and an educator, I can make a go with this. And that's it. I knew right then, I was like, I'm going to start merging the two. You know, TribeTokes is the products that we make are very healthy, and they're very balanced. We're not here to try to like get people, you know, all fucked up. We're here to help people with everyday life. And if it helps with your you know, challenges and medical things, that's awesome. But our goal is just to help people live a happy, plant-based, holistic lifestyle. And having a fitness background, people listen. I'm your trainer. Get down and give me 20, and then get up and take a puff. And people were like, hell yeah.
All right, so
I'm ready.
That's dope. That's dope, because I think a lot of people struggle with kind of like living the dual life, right? Where you trying to make something pop off in cannabis, which, you know, everybody here supports, and three of us. But your company might not necessarily be supportive of that, or like see the vision or the opportunity there. So, you know, being successful is a lot of hard work, but there's a little bit of luck and taking your chances. And like, that's a really cool position to be at, that you had like two brands that were like down with it. And what I like the most is like, you found your niche and who you are, right? Because there's so many like copycats out there. You kind of found your little specific area that you could just like make it pop off. Before we go to the next spot though, I gotta say, we can't gloss over this. Shout out WomenGrow. I just had to like shout out WomenGrow. They made it happen.
Yeah, so that's where I actually met Jacoby. I was just chatting with Gia from WomenGrow, and Jacoby and I met at a WomenGrow 420 party.
Amazing.
It was 2015, maybe 2014.
I think it was 2015. I don't know.
Something like that. And it was the first time, you know, I came up from the Washington market. Jacoby came up from the Colorado market. We're both super nerds. He's like, if no one knows this, he's a math major. So it was the first time that we had like a technical kind of, you know, real boots on the ground conversation about cannabis in New York. So, you know, our first group was called the Cannabis Tech Group. We did our first event. Kym, you were helping us, you know, running around, like being there like you always are. And I can honestly say between the years of 2015 and probably 2018, there was not one cannabis event that I did not see you at, that I went to.
Those were the lean years too. Those were the lean years for me. But your events were always amazing.
But what I think was really special about you, and the reason why your, you know, like publicly traded companies trusted you is, you know, you came with it with intention. You did a good job. You know, you earned people's trust. And because of that, you know, they were totally cool with what you're doing because they knew who you were and what you were about. So big up to you for, you know, just being a great worker, educator, teacher. You're an inspiration.
Thank you so much. I think it's just about being your true authentic self, and it's hard sometimes because you just don't know exactly who you are to yourself. So can you know who you are with others? But if you just kind of let go of your inhibitions and really just take pride in cultivating a community and your own workings, then it's not so hard.
Well, I think there's another piece there that I don't want people to sleep on. Like, it's one thing to network, right? That's important. But like, you stayed networking, right? It's like you probably were going to events where you actually knew everybody there, but you kept going to more of them. You're probably listening to speakers that you already knew what they had to say, but you were still going. And so you kind of became a staple just by your presence and your energy. And I think you were doing that before you were actually like we'll talk about this actually. You actually had positions at these networking groups then later, but before that, you were just always there. And that consistency makes such a big difference because, like, if you're trying to find followers, it's hard to find them like just online. But if you keep meeting with the people and they see you consistently, you become a staple. Like Lulu said, we expect you to be there. If I'm there, I'm like, Kym B's not here. What's wrong with this shit?
Yeah,
Like, there must be something wrong with whoever's organizing this.
Some whack ass shit if I'm not there.
Well, and then also you're always, whenever we did do projects together, you were the first one there. And you're the last to leave. It didn't matter. You were there picking up cups. You were organizing. You were leaving the place better than when you got there. So, I think a lot of people, need to be just, need to consider that, like, you show up, but you also participate in a way that's helpful and makes people's lives easier. And that is how, I'm sure Kym B got invited really quickly to join the management teams of so many pillars of cannabis in New York. So
yeah.
Talk to me about that. Like, we talked about just bouncing around. Like, how did you get involved with WomenGrow? What were you doing there? And then you were involved with Canna Gather. Like, tell me how these kind of all played their part.
Well, again, I was always there. So they were like, all right, well, this girl is here cleaning up shit. Let's see what she can really do. And Mia believed in me, and Tanya believed in me. Mia was, one of the original team leaders for WomenGrow. And then it was Tanya. She was the market leader, and Tanya really just, yeah. And Tanya really gave me the chance because she knew I was hungry for it. And she allowed me to be in a leadership position, and Gia and Dr. Shonda, and they all have always believed in me. And even Jane West, again, and I really made a point to really recognize the women that came before me and that were there with me, that were leading the way. So WomenGrow, I just showed up all the time, and they were like, okay, this girl obviously wants in. I was a member. I had my pin on. I was like, there. And then that's when I was poached. No, that's when Canna Gather came right along and was like, okay, Kym B, you got some style, and we need someone that can speak for the people, because there's not a voice for the community sometimes on these business platforms. And so Canna Gather came along kind of as a surprise to me, because I was just there to learn and meet, and to be recognized as a contributor was an honor and a privilege for me. So being the vice president of community for Canna Gather was more than a position. It was something that came from deep inside of me, and it was bigger than a passion. It was just this ignition of knowing that my community needed a voice, and we don't all look the same, and everybody needed to know that there's like some crazy white girl out there cussing and screaming and letting everyone know that we don't all fucking look the same, and we're not all from the same place. We're not all from Manhattan. We're not all from the burbs. There are people from the Bronx. There are people from Brooklyn, Queens, people that have had their communities disparaged. They had a right to come. and they needed to feel comfortable and invited. And my job at Canna Gather was to let everyone know that everyone was invited. And that, again, was an honor and a privilege for me. So it was really by coincidence that, you know, Canna Gather came along. It wasn't really anything planned, and I wasn't going for it. I just was showing up, and they were like, okay, this girl is here, you know, every single time asking how she can help. We need to let her help. We need to let her shine. So, you know, I left Canna Gather. Well, I was, you know, let go of Canna Gather. But I'm not embarrassed for that. Do you know why I'm not embarrassed? Because I led, and I led my community. And when your time is over, your time is over. And I led and did as much as I could there. And actually, the reason I got let go is because I had nothing left to contribute, because I had given my all. And it honestly skyrocketed my career to what it is today. So I'm very grateful for WomenGrow. I'm very grateful for Canna Gather. And now I do, you know, things that are even bigger than I could have even possibly imagined. So
Yeah, there was, I think at the beginning, there was 4 groups, right? There was High NY, Canna Gather, Women Grow, and then us. And you were
yes.
involved across all 4, doing your thing, bringing your energy. And I think you're right. When I remember when the Canna Gather transition happened, and that's when cannabis with Kym B popped up like that. And all of a sudden, your IG popped up like that. So can we talk about that a little bit? Like, you know, how did
Please.
you, so many people want to be an influencer these days, right? And so
Yeah.
many people want to jump into cannabis and be an influencer. And, you know, back in the day, it was kind of like tits and ass, right? That's how I became a female cannabis influencer. But let's talk
Totally.
about how you did it. You know, what were the things that, what are some tips you can give to our audience, and how, you know, you increased your engagement, and how, you know, what was your strategy?
Well, I did a little bit of everything on Instagram, and some of it came back to bite me in the ass, and other things are the gifts that continue to give. What I tell everybody with Instagram is, if you are not your true authentic self, if you are trying to be someone else, they will see right through you, and it's not even worth it. Basically, I would just blast my Instagram handle everywhere I went. And I made up these cards. I wish I still had them. And they were really shiny and pretty, all metallic and beautiful. And on the back, it said HMU, which means hit me up, with my Instagram handle. And what I did was I made myself crazy and accessible to everyone. If you had a question, yo, I'll solve it. And if I couldn't, I'd hook you up with somebody that could. And so what it ended up being was like this Dear Kym B thing, where people were just hitting me up and I was answering back. And it didn't matter. There was sick people, there was older people, there was younger people, there was men, women, and everything in between. And I just didn't, there was no judgment. So I would just answer the questions, and people liked what I had to say. I try to do as much as I can. So I kind of do this thing called tithing, where you kind of like give away a certain amount of money that you earn. And there was a lot of times back in the day where I was barely making it. So I'd give out books and weed and things that I had to people, like sick people. I'd be like, okay, I own a CBD brand. I can send you a little CBD. And I would just try to give back to the community. And when you give back, I promise you, you will find that you will receive more than you can possibly imagine. And it takes a lot to wrap your head around that, because it's like some weird voodoo shit, some cosmic shit. No, it's not. If you do good, it will flow back to you. And so I just kept doing good, and it kept flowing back to me. And that's really how I built my Instagram to 19,000 followers.
Organically. which I think is a big deal also. And, you know, same page with that. You know, we also have this gift first mentality. And I think it's beautiful that you didn't have monetary things, so you gave things that would be helpful still. And it is amazing when you set out to be generous and of service. The reward you receive back from that is tenfold, 20-fold. So love you, Kym B. I want to ask really quickly about something that's not so pleasant on Instagram. You've been taken down a couple times, right?
Multiple times. 7 times I've been taken down.
Oh my God.
But I'm back, bitches.
Can you give some insight on like why you thought you were taken down, so maybe people can be aware of that? And then 2, how are you able to get yourself back in and back up?
Inquiring minds want to know. I might need to light my blunt for this one. Okay, so I've been taken down 7 times. Most of the time, I think it's because my handle was cannabis with Kym B. So the Instagram attacks cannabis brands and cannabis educators and allow a lot of other bullshit to happen. That's more just could be. There's things that happen on Instagram that are so disgusting and bullying and evil, but yet they still target, you know, plain Jane cannabis brands. I'm not selling weed on there or anything. I fill out the forms and do all the things. This last time though, it didn't work. They weren't giving me my page back. 2 months have went by. I was spending hours every day filling out the forms, doing all the things, and it didn't work. And so I hired a hacker to retrieve my page.
Wow.
And I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm not. You know why? Because that page is my community and it's worth something to me. And each and every single one of my followers are fucking important to me. And so I wanted to get it back. And I wasn't sure that continuing to do the form was going to work. So I had a recommendation from a very close friend in the cannabis industry who I trust and love. And he said, Kym, I'm going to give you the name of somebody who gets every single person's page back.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and I called the guy and I asked him all the questions. And I was like, dude, am I going to have to like come hunt for you for my deposit? He said, if you put a deposit down and I don't get your page back, I will give you your deposit back. But lo and behold, 2 days ago, I changed my handle to hi, it's Kym B, HIGH. It's Kym B from Cannabis with Kym B, because I think that it sucks to have to hide cannabis, but it sucks even more when I can't educate and help my community. So I made the decision to go ahead and try the retrieval. It was successful. I'm scared shitless. I'm not going to lie. I'm scared to post. In fact, I'm waiting. I'm changing all of my stuff from cannabis out, and I'm taking down all my cannabis posts, and I'm going to start kind of from scratch. And I'm not going to not talk about cannabis. Of course, I'm going to talk about cannabis and psychedelics and fitness, but I'm going to do it in a different way so that I can maybe stay below the radar and still be able to educate and elevate my friends and family that, you know, find what I have to talk about valuable. So it sucks. What I'm doing in turn, though, is I am looking at other platforms like OnlyFans where there is less issues. So, you know, and OnlyFans, I'm not like meaning that I'm there to do anything that's like sexually explicit. I would like to show my weed and my blunts and all of the other amazing properties that I use, including psychedelics, without being scared that they're going to take my page down, because I can't help 19,000 people with no page. And that's why I find Instagram to be valuable. But I'm backing up stuff now, and I'm starting a dope ass newsletter that's gonna fucking knock everyone's socks off. And so I'm just gearing up for that, and I'll be putting out the information within like the next 60 days to sign up and get on my list, because I'm gonna have the links to everything, and it's gonna be lit.
Yo,
And
that's
so,
some OG shit right there. That's
yeah,
pretty
thank
crazy
you.
to get the hacker. I gotta say, like OnlyFans, I think if we start thinking like 5 years from now, looking back, people will just remember that, that was primarily branded as a sex place, but like they empower the creator to own their content, which is a
It's the
really
only,
powerful concept. And I think generally people are just about to revolutionize this whole game, where they're like, you can't control the stuff I'm creating. The creators want their power back. And
yeah.
so I think like places like OnlyFans are really going to be pivotal. So if you can build that now, more power to you. Everybody look for the newsletter coming soon. It's about to
And a
happen.
podcast.
And the podcast. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I think this social media companies have had their moment, right? Like they own everything. We sign our rights away as soon as we're on that platform. And this movement of digital autonomy, like you need to pay me for the content that I create. Like there's value to my copyright. And we talk about OnlyFans a lot because I'm always like, we got to get on OnlyFans. There's still that stigma. But we were just chatting earlier this week that OnlyFans is almost like ditching some of their sexual content, specifically around. I think there was a lot of escorting that was happening. It wasn't really around people that were making profit from content that they created. It was more around the escort services, which
Of course, and that makes sense.
And the payment processor.
I'm sad that our sex workers will have less resources, but I'm very confident that there will be something else that pops up that people will be able to, continue. And I know that nudity is not explicit. And so nudity is art and beauty and human. And so I think that, they'll still continue allowing people to be as free as they want within some parameters. And this is just what it is. And everybody should have their own app if you really want to create content, but even then you can't be in the app store. It's so hard. So I think the best thing that we can do is continue to push and make the most impact.
Except for Apple now, Kym. Apple is accepting cannabis apps now. So
amazing. This is great.
It just shows how you're a slave to the big dogs. Like the fact that you're celebrating that Master said you can come in and get some water.
Sucks. It sucks.
Look, like the sex industry is probably like the most innovative, right? If you want to know what's going to happen in the internet 5 years from now, look at what the sex industry is doing today. So I'm confident they'll figure it out. Look, I could go down Web 3.0. I could go down like this entire conversation, but I do want to bring it back to your business career, right? So it's been a fun journey, even just the journey of talking about it, right? Just started in the fitness game, building a community in cannabis in New York. And then you found Deja, right? So
oh my God.
that
my
seemed
queen.
like another pivotal part in your life, right? So talk to me about how you guys connected, what she brought to the table, what she saw in you, and what is the little business baby you guys birthed.
So Deja is my goddess, my queen, and I don't bow to many, but I definitely bow to her. I don't know what she saw in me. I offered to pour her a glass of red wine, and TribeTokes was born, Deja came in with a vision. She already started TribeTokes, and she had like a good plan for it. And I met her at WomenGrow and said, I have this CBD infused eye cream. And she's like, yes, bitch, let's do it. Let's bring it to market. Let's do this. And that was it. It just was a match made in heaven. It's a yin and yang. We knew right away that we wanted to have quality, healthy products that were luxurious and that were aesthetically pleasing. We wanted the user experience to go beyond just the contents. We wanted it to be a whole thing. So Deja would stay up in the middle of the night and do all of the Photoshop packaging and come out with these beautiful creations. And she just keeps getting better and better. And I am the talker, I'm the marketer, I'm the girl on the street. So she was, you know, like, I laugh because I'm like, Deja, we're like Pinky in the brain and we both want to take over the world. And so she's clearly the brain and I'm crazy Pinky, and it just worked. And you know what? If you don't put yourself out there and you don't be your true authentic self, how will someone walk and up to you and just be like, wow, I see something in this person? Right? So that's what Deja did. She saw something in me and she brought me on board as a co-founder, and we've been riding ever since. And, you know, she knew that vaping was going to be a thing. And I was right behind her. You know, I used to, like, you know, smoke the carts, sell the carts, everything. So I knew that she was right. And we knew that beauty, even though it really hasn't like exploded just yet, that cannabinoids and beauty are a thing, and your skin. And so we just like it just happened to be this moment in time where we stepped to each other and we were in a safe space, and it blossomed, and we were both our true authentic self. And the thing I love about Deja is that, like, even though we're sisters, like, it's beyond friendship, it's a sisterhood. We're not like friends, not like we're best friends. We're really working together. There's no complacency. There's no, you know, we hold each other accountable, and we don't work for each other. We work for ourselves. Finding someone that has a vision similar to yours is very important, because then you can combine forces and really have something special. If you're both fighting to do the same thing, it just doesn't work. So we knew that we did two very different things. Deja comes from a background of finance. You know, she worked for some huge, you know, companies, Morgan Stanley, Sands Capital. And then she also worked for startups and has had, you know, some really, really successful startups. And so I'm a marketer, right? I'm a group fitness instructor, and my classes at Equinox were packed with a waiting line. Deja used to laugh because I used to, you know, bring her in as my guest. She'd be like, I can't believe this many people are in line for your Pilates class at 8 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. Like, what the fuck? It's marketing. So she saw that in me, and it worked. And I literally thank God every single day for WomenGrow. I thank God every single day for Deja. And I'm so thankful to, you know, have a TribeTokes baby with, you know, my sister.
Dope. I love it. I could feel the energy. So there was there still are a lot of CBD brands in New York City 2-3 years ago, right? Like everywhere
Yeah.
you go, somebody's got something they're working on. They still kind of do. They kind of had their moment with the
100%.
stores. The state was like, nah. And then they're still kind of there. So talk to me about like TribeTokes, the business, the brand, not Kym B,
Okay.
the
Got
business
it.
here.
So
What was your strategy and your approach to handle things differently? Like, what was going to set you guys apart from everybody else in this game?
well, we raised the bar with the quality. We just kept on saying we can do this better. Every time we'd come out with something new, we knew we could do it better. So we just kept raising our own standards. The next thing is that we worked on the user experience. And, you know, Lulu has taught me a lot about this. She is a user experience expert. And so even though she's in tech, a lot of the things kind of, you know, resonated with us. So we really took it upon ourselves to make sure our packaging was on point, so that when people received the product, that they were like, before they even opened it or tried it, they were already like, wow, this is my style. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something sexy and elegant and healthy. So then we decided to give 5-star customer service. the user experience and customer service is very much a part of that. So rather than just, even sometimes people would just be like, we don't like this, we don't want to return it, like we just take it back. If the customer is always right, then they can't say shit about you, right? They might not buy your product again, but they're never going to talk shit about you. And so, no news is good news. But then the people that really did like our product, we were making sure that we were giving them, handwritten notes. We still do handwritten notes, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of handwritten notes. It's insane. But our customers love it. And so rather than be a business trying to scale and trying to get bigger, we're trying to figure out how we can make our customers happier rather than just get bigger. How do we have the people that are buying the product now be happy campers all the time? And that's by just offering 5-star customer service. Like, I run customer service for TribeTokes as well as marketing. And I have customers texting me, asking me questions because I put my cell phone everywhere. If you have a problem, you can hit me up anytime. And that's not a Kym B thing. That's a TribeTokes thing, because when I can't do it, Deja does it. And that is our whole team. Our people that work in our office, whether they're doing wholesale or they're doing ecom, they pack every single order with love and attention and extras. And our customers know it because we show it.
I'm going to comment a little bit about your ethos and quality, because I've seen lots of brands out there and how they form. And I think what sets you guys apart is you actually go visit the farm. You actually go talk to the people that are growing. I've seen so many CBD brands that come out and are like, oh, hey, we're white labeling with this one group. And the first thing I ask is like, well, how are they extracting it? How are they producing it? How are they, what strains are they using? And then they kind of look at me and go blink, blink. Yeah. And it's just so surprising that you haven't even visited the farm that you're getting this product from. And you guys are so hands-on. And I've seen it. I've been in the office when you're having these conversations, you're capturing, you are about user experience, because you do the same thing I do with products and service for digital. You get feedback from your customers, you go and bring that back to your supply chain, and you guys refine it. So every single time you just make it better and better. And I think that's a huge differentiator for you guys, because it is so rare. I mean, if you're out there, our listeners, go ask your CBD group, ask them like, hey, which farm do you use? How, what type of hemp are they growing? How is their CBD extracted? What type? And if they don't know that, that means they haven't put in the work. And you and Deja are two of the hardest working women I know. And the fact that you're so involved, even when you were doing your eye cream, you were going to Chicago to visit your chemist. It's a collaborative. You weren't like, here's a spec, here you go, make this for me, and I'm going to slap a label on it. You were totally involved in every step of every product that you guys make. And I think that you don't see that these days, especially in CBD.
It's really hard too, guys, because there is so much inequality in the whole industry. Like, there's not fair banking, there's not insurance, there's no write-offs, there's like no room to fuck up, but we have fucked up a lot. And Deja like is really great with like working with our like suppliers and everything like that. And she doesn't ask them for things. She leads them and says, this is what we want. Can you do it? No? Okay, we'll find someone else that can. And that's what we've done with our D8 line. Is there's a lot of shitty D8 out there. And we have spent, and we were late to the game. So there was so many other companies out there, just mass producing all these D8 products. And we're sitting there still in the R&D process because we're like, this is not fucking good enough for our customers. This is not good enough for our moms, our sisters, our family, or our community. So we're going to keep doing it better until we have something that we feel good enough. Deja says everything is tested by her mom. And if her mom says it's good, then we can do it. And if not, we have to go back. And her sister and her mom and my sisters and my brothers, they're all like very much, you know, our test dummies and our feedback. And, you know, like we do R&D a lot, because if you don't put out a good quality product, you can be pretty, you can, you know, have all the great user experience, but at the end, people won't order again, right? So we have really just taken the time, you know, that's why we're here in California with our partners here, and we're going through everything. We're revamping everything. We're looking at everything. How can we do better as a group? And the tribe is a philosophy that Deja came up with, but that very much resonated with me, is that, you know, you hear this say, it takes a village, it takes a tribe. There is not a person that can do it all. You need help. And we don't just ask our people, our staff to help. We ask our customers and our family and our community, how can we do better? And that has really been, you know, the main ingredient is quality, but not our personal thought of quality, is what do the people that are close to us think. And we do anonymous polls. Like, it's hysterical. Deja like sends out polls to like everybody, like, which do you like better? What flavors do you think? Like, we're really methodical about it, but not in a so much in a scientific way, in a human way.
You know, that user testing, you guys got it on lock. I love it. I need more of that in the industry. All right, look, we're almost out of time. I gotta understand like one more piece about your business. The CBD companies, distribution, and figuring out how you're actually gonna get user experience here. This product or manufacturing into the hands of my customer. There's a couple ways you can play that, right? You can get into stores. You could work directly with distributors, which might be how you have to get in stores in New York. You could go ecom. So I want to know, what has been your distribution strategy to date, and then also, what are you guys thinking about THC and, you know, expanding beyond CBD and whatever's going on? So that's my last one for you.
Yes, honey, because I love my THC. And so, well, have been working solid for the past 4 years on ecom and wholesale distribution. So we hired a woman that we met at WomenGrow, Laura, and she has done some great things for us as far as wholesale. And then, of course, Deja's husband, Greg, is our COO, and he is our head of wholesale. So we have a team that just does wholesale, and they are not there to shove anything down anyone's throat. We're here to elevate and educate. Now, ecom. I love ecom. I am obsessed with ecom. I am all about ecom. So we decided to go ahead and spend all our time and resources on SEO and digital marketing. And we've been extremely, extremely successful. And so, as much as we love wholesale, because that keeps our numbers down, our cost, right, is you have to order in bulk, right? You can't just order packaging from China, 200 pieces. You got to order 10 and 20,000 to get the numbers, right? So the key in a brand is having a good level of wholesale so that you can keep your numbers for ecom down, meaning that you make good margins. So we have a healthy business of both. And that's really what I recommend to people, is having something kind of equal. Our ecom right now, as we, approach the pandemic last year, our ecom was already on the up and up. And when March hit, our ecom went through the roof, and we've tripled our sales since last year, maybe even quadrupled, I think, now with D8. And so, but how we're able to scale is continuously doing wholesale to our main, I think our main bread and butter in wholesale is CBD stores. We do really, really well in like Medi spas and CBD stores and things like that. We're not, our aesthetics are so elevated that it's almost like doesn't work for smoke shops. More like high-end smoke shops do well with our product. And then of course we have a few distributors that put our products strategically, and we're always looking for new wholesale partners and new distributing outlets. Like this isn't something that we're just like, okay, we've got some good traction, now we can sit and do nothing. No, I'm going to Champ's Vape Show on in Atlantic City on Monday and setting up my booth and doing what everybody else does, because even though we're doing really, really well with D8 and CBD and TribeTokes, there's room for improvement, and we'd like to have more wholesale customers and more distribution outlets. It's easy as that. Now let's get into the juicy. So Deja and I, as well as our partner here in California, us three women are going for a manufacturing license in New York. So we're getting ready to go raise money and do all the things. And we're being represented by my favorite woman lawyer in the industry, Lauren Ruddick. And she has been my personal lawyer for the past 4 years. Hillary
WomenGrow alumni right there.
WomenGrow alumni, and that's where I met Lauren and Michael. And then also, David Feldman is now, I met David at WomenGrow. Dwayne Morris used to hold the WomenGrow events. He is now with Hiller PC, and he is our TribeTokes lawyer. So we have a dream team of women and some men, because we love men too. Jacoby, we're not all about the women too. We like our guys as well. And we're going for a manufacturing license. And, everyone thought we were going to, definitely go for a dispensary license. We even thought, God, like, should we go for a dispensary license? But guess what? We make brands and we fucking crush it. So why are we trying to do something that we're not good at? We are going for a manufacturing license because we've been manufacturing vapes for 5 years and distributing out of New York City. So this is our shtick. This is what we were born to do. We are ready, willing, and able, and we think we can make a go at it.
Hey, I love to hear it. I said that was my last question, but now you piqued my interest. Anybody that is looking to get into a manufacturing license, right now, we don't have regulations. We don't even know who's going to be running the show yet. Kind of hurry up and wait type game. What advice would you give to people that are sitting on the sidelines? What should they be working on right now so that they're ready whenever that fateful day comes?
Well, you should go ahead and read the MRTA a couple times, and it's kind of like pasty. So I'm not like good at that kind of thing. That's not my shtick, but I read it twice. Where do you fit into the space? You have to know what you're good at and where it makes sense for you to be. Some people should be working for other companies. Some people should be doing ancillary businesses. If you're getting ready to go for a license, though, you need to have a great lawyer. You need to be really good at whatever it is you're going for. If you're good at retail, then you're a dispensary. If you're, into delivering, that's a delivery license. Maybe you're into hospitality, like the Happy Monkey. You should have a consumption lounge. Or maybe you should be a grower because you have a green thumb. You got to see where it makes sense, and then you got to put your team together, starting with a great law firm. And like I said, I'm super blessed to be working with Lauren Ruddick. I trust her as a Canna sister, and it really kind of starts there for me. Also, if you want to do extraction, do you even know how to do that? You got to start educating yourself. So education is the key. Like, I'm not here, telling anybody anything that they don't know. But if you want to get in the game, you got to show up, you got to network, you got to know the right people, you got to build your team, and then you got to have, Jacoby, you said a spark before. You have a spark. you better have a spark and you better have somebody there to fucking ignite it, because this is going to be a shit show and a rat race, but I am looking forward to every second.
And
Right
really
there.
quickly on sparks, make sure if you're getting a manufacturing processing license to become friendly with your local fire department and fire marshal.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a fact.
That's smart.
A fact.
Yep.
All right. On that one, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I gotta say, if you're looking into getting a license, Revel's got some big news coming soon. So stay tuned. Go to our website. We'll announce it soon. Kym B.
Can I quickly just shout out
Yeah.
Deborah, Jill, and all the other people leaving comments. I see you guys, and I love my my women and my men in cannabis, and I appreciate all the support from everyone, and especially from you guys as well. And of course, huge shout out to my partner Deja Lee. She's a badass, and I love her. Oh, and to Ron, he was in my mentorship program. There are so many amazing young future leaders of cannabis in our community, and it is our job as the older generation to mentor and lead them so that they continue our legacy.
Boom. See, Lulu, you're here to mentor and lead me.
I'm an elder.
Yes.
I'm still trying to figure out which one are we? Are you the brain or am I the brain? Or are you?
You're the brain. You're the brain.
Well, you're not Pinky. I know that. I have to.
We just need our own analogy. We need to be original. We need our own analogy.
I have to. Jacoby is really, really an amazing introverted extrovert, but I literally have to go to his apartment and sit with him. And if I want him to come with me, I have to like escort him to the events.
People don't know that though, because then once I'm there, if I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna spark up, you know. To get me there is the tough part. All right. Once again, Kym B, we appreciate you. Like I said in the beginning, we see you. We see you even better now. We're gonna see you even bigger in the future. So shout out to TribeTokes and to Deja. Also, super shout out to WomenGrow, because they came up so much today and dropping lots of names like Tanya, Gia, Dr. Shonda, Jane West. Like, you know, we appreciate all the people, all the women that have guided
Jasmine
you.
Hupp, all the girls, they're all amazing. All amazing women.
Facts. And yeah, to our audience, man, everybody that comes in and tunes in, we appreciate you, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or the podcast later. We love you and we appreciate you. And we're looking forward to the next one. Kym B, it's been an honor.
The honor is mine, my friend. I love you more, my sis. And thank you so much to all the people on the Revel. It's a great community, and I am so honored and blessed to be a part of it.